Order of business is minutes. We have minutes from December 18th.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Zeniak's not here. Is there someone you want to seat for?
Mr. Valcourt. So does anybody have any additions, deletions to this? Seeing none, can we have a motion to approve? So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. So we didn't meet in January, we didn't meet in February, so we have the meeting minutes for Wednesday, March 19th. Anybody have any additions and deletions to this? Seeing none, can we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Joe, do you have any announcements?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right, takes care of general business. So, we're waiting for our applicant to appear.
Let's see if someone is here for General Business Plan A for the discussion on the Granville Woods condition of approval. I don't know if anybody's here for that. Okay. So I don't know if you want to take that out of order, Mr.
We can
Chair.
take that out of order. Walk up to the microphone, tell us who you are and why you're here.
Hi, I'm Alan Cantos. I live in Granville Woods, 29 Cheyenne Valley, and we're here to petition the board to remove the, I guess the restrictions in the permit, which indicate that the property should remain forever private. The reason that we want to do this is we as a community are not afforded a lot of town services, like garbage pickup, road maintenance, snow plowing, things like that. So our understanding is that this is the first step towards achieving that goal, is to get the amendment to the permit.
Okay. I happened to be on the board when that was approved. And I am not in favor of this at all. That would be a huge undertaking and financial responsibility for the town. And at the time that we decided to do this, along with a lot of other projects that are similar in nature, the association are the ones who will be paying for trash and plowing their roads and driveways and everything else. So I'm opposed. Anybody else have any opinions?
I agree, I'm not in favor of it.
Well, it was the long-standing policy of the town, right?
Correct.
Condominium, and I don't know when that started. Started after, I guess, the first three are in, everybody else is out, right? So,
Started with Blanchard Farms.
Blanchard
Yep.
Farms, Hildreth Hills, Pilgrim Village.
Yep.
Sort of the existing rules at the time stood.
Mm-hmm.
After that, then the town voted out, or changed the bylaw, essentially voted out condominiums. And then they came back, I want to say, what, a number of years later.
Probably when we did
Was,
down on 110 there.
Excuse me, can you explain what the change was that you're referring to?
I don't have amnesia, but I think it just, the town went for a long time with no condominiums.
Right.
And this was 83, 84. All of a sudden, they got three, and they said, whoa, wait, we don't want to do that. Bylaw was changed, the zoning bylaw was changed, I recollect, back to zoning them out effectively. And then a number of years later, they were back in, but one of the provisos was that they would be responsible for snow, trash, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a common condition.
Essentially, they would be private.
Right.
So Dave, even now, Blanchard Farms, Hildreth Hills, and Pilgrim, they still are on their own, right, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Can I speak?
Yep. Tell us your name.
Yeah, my name is Bhaskar. I live in the same community as well. So a couple of years back, I think probably 8 years back or so, all of us came and put a petition like, hey, we pay the same tax rate as other residents within Massachusetts, within Westford, but we don't get any town services. So that time we requested at least can we get some trash pickup. And at that point of time, I think there was a study done by the Westford, I think the town, I do not know what.
Solid
exactly.
Waste Advisory Committee.
Yeah. So the committee did an analysis and they said that there are a lot of communities, even though they stay private, but they do have like services of snow cleaning and trash pickup. There was a study done. I think Westford town might have that data. And some of our requests that time was also denied. And I think 3 years back or so, we again put a request that, hey, since we are not getting services, can we do that for the tax abatement, right? Like all of us, we signed a petition, hey, can you lower our rate so that can be consistent with the services what we are getting from the town? Even that was denied. And if you see from last 3 years, I keep seeing like last year or this year, like I think Article 7, there was one private driveway which was converted to town public road as well, so that they can get all the services of the town. I can get all that list from like previous town meetings. Like it has been consistently happening from last 3 years. If you see, every year there is one community where it is converted from private driveway to public, so that they get all the services. So this is like one of the thing which we want to explore too, because there are some communities which are still private, but they are getting all the services. Like for
Well,
example,
those are
Juniper
town
Road.
accepted roads, so when a developer builds a neighborhood, okay, the road is private until the town accepts it. They have to put up bond money, it has to be built to town standards and everything else. And
This is
then it
where
gets,
we want to go into that route. That's where
I don't know if you
we-
can because.
That's a road, you're condominium.
Right.
It's the same thing for other communities which became from private to public too. It's exactly the same thing, right? They were private roads too.
You have a condo association, correct?
Yes, I think even the other communities which
HOA,
became.
you guys pay an HOA?
No.
So when you purchase that condominium, you're well aware of the HOA, obviously, right?
Yeah, we are
And
not
the
questioning
HOA
that part.
has certain responsibilities
Agreed.
to that condo association, and that's part of the license or the restrictions associated with that association. So I'm not sure how you would stop that.
I agree on that
Like anybody
part.
else, there are a lot of condo associations in Westford that have an HOA, and those services are provided based upon the HOA.
Agreed, 100% agreed. But my point is, like there are other communities which had similar situations, like which had private roads, which had association, everything. They got like amended to become public roads too. So we want to go in the same route, like how the other communities which had HOA, similarly, they had everything was detached.
Other communities in Westford or other communities in Massachusetts?
In Westford, in Westford.
But I think you're.
Give me the
I think
name of
you-
one.
I think you're misunderstanding. The communities I think you're talking about aren't communities. They're just a road with multiple houses on it. So when the builder puts the plan together for the town, it's a road, it's not a community. They're all individual homes with no HOA.
And those roads are
So
all,
what happens is, throughout the process, when it gets to the end, like Scott said, he has to meet certain criteria for the town to take that road over.
the roads all have to be inspected throughout the whole process of them being installed, which were not done by any town officials when they built your development or any of the other condominium projects. So just that fact alone, the possibility of meeting all the town requirements might be a long shot.
Like one of the community this year, what I was referring to was off of the 225. Like once you go very close to the Carlisle
Yeah.
intersection, on the left-hand side, that extension road, which became from private to public. That was on that Article 7.
On the
in
left
last
side?
one. Yes.
Landmark?
I'm off of the top of my head. Like I'm
Landmark
forgetting.
Drive has been a street in Westford for umpty-nine years.
Not that.
Might be thinking of
This is,
Xavier.
this year, which was like,
Diane Lane.
Oh, Xavier.
Diane Lane, yes.
Yeah, that's a road, that's not a community.
Diane Lane
Those
was
houses
approved.
are
That
all,
used to be a private road, right?
no, that was,
Diane Lane was approved as a subdivision in front of the planning board that was always intended to be a public way. So they intended for it to be a public way from the moment it was approved. They didn't intend for it to be a private way at any point. It remains private until the project's done. Then once the project is done, it gets inspected throughout the construction process. And at that point, once the engineering department is satisfied it's been built to town standards, then it can go forward to town meeting, be accepted as a public way. And the town takes responsibility for it.
Are you saying that all of the condominiums, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. Are you saying that none of the condominium associations are getting trash pickup, snow plowing, et cetera?
Right?
That is incorrect. The Juniper Hills community on.
Juniper Hills is not a condominium association, it's a neighborhood, it's cluster zoning.
But their road is private, but they do get trash services, right?
I don't know if they get trash or not.
That's what, like last 8 years back or something, when we put a petition, right? They did a study. It's kind of a mixed thing in Westford. Like some communities, even though it's a private driveway, they get some services. Some communities do not get it. So that is where like we are kind of trying to request, hey, can we get like something similar like other private communities, what they have? Can we get something similar? Why we should be excluded being part of Westford? If it is other town, 100% agree. But if it is in Westford itself, if there are a lot of private driveways where trash pickup services are being provided, why we should be alienated? That's the point what we wanted to put up front.
My point is, you bought, you knew what you got.
Yes.
Yeah, you knew when you.
In perpetuity is the famous words that we put in everything. Because that board approved that, this board approved that subdivision, or that condominium association. You know, and usually when somebody comes to us, they're asking us for something. Okay, they're not giving us anything, they're asking us for something, smaller lots, greater density, yada, yada, yada. And so, in that case, it's exactly what it was. So as a result, no trash and no snow.
So how does it justify paying the same tax rates and you do not get services, right? Like
Talk to the assessor, that's not our department.
I guess
We
when-
tried that one too, but that
when-
failed.
I guess when you bought the house, right, you were aware of the tax rate.
Yeah, we are aware
And you
of
were
it.
aware of the HOA at the time, correct? I guess that's.
100% agree.
It's a decision you made at that time, right? I'm not, I guess what I was, like Scott's saying is when that proposal came before us, there were certain restrictions for us to approve that. And some of that was not doing the trash pickup or the road maintenance. So-
There are other communities, that's what I'm trying to convey. There are other communities in the similar boat, exactly like saying like our communities. For them, they are getting trash pickup. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because changed.
They're saying there aren't any, so we need to do our homework and.
I can get that list. I think at that time, right, we got a list which all communities having private driveways, their trash pickups are being done. I think we can get that data. So if you want to reconsider like having that data, right, probably it might change your opinion, like why there is a
But you
discrepancy
have-
between
but
the
you-
communities.
You gotta look at
within
the
the-
paperwork.
But you're missing the distinction between private and condos. I mean, that's where you gotta go. And I think you don't, I suspect you got, maybe go back to the select board and their legal counsel. And maybe that, I know you're frustrated, but maybe they can clarify in your mind.
It's not-
Because it's driven.
Kind of a distinct, even though other communities are in the same boat, they get some services. we
No,
don't.
you're misconstruing, I believe you're misconstruing that. That if the only three condominium associations I can think of were constructed before the zoning bylaw was changed. Once the zoning bylaw was changed, as these guys have suggested, the terms and conditions changed. And you got into this HOA, but it was up front. You knew what you bought.
several years ago down on 225, this Concord Place. They came to us for the very same requests, and they get denied. So you're not the only ones who've come in front of us.
Can you just tell me when that, if you know the date of when that change happened? When the,
The zoning bylaw change?
Yeah, to Mr. Earl's point, it was a period in the mid-'80s where the bylaw was changed to allow multifamily housing, and then, 3-4 years later, it was changed, I guess, back to not have multifamily as a separate category of the bylaw.
Be between 85 and 90, I would guess.
Yeah, somewhere in the mid to late '80s.
Long before your places were built. Used to be a rock gravel quarry where you guys were living, and that's what that was going on that period of time, in the 80s and the early 90s.
okay. We'll do some more homework then.
Okay.
All right, thank you for your,
Thank you for your time.
Take care.
Okay, next order of business is 6 Craig Circle. Looking for a special permit pursuant to 3.6.6 for an after-the-fact approval, alteration of a non-conforming residential structure going from 47 feet to 41.9 feet where 50 feet is required. Hi, tell us your name.
Mr. Chair, can I get a motion to open the hearing?
We have a motion to open the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
My name is Michael Jiniku, and I'm here to petition for the approval of the second special permit request.
Okay, so, do you have any comment?
I'm sorry?
Do you have any comments?
No,
No comments, okay.
I was here before the end of last year, but it wasn't approved, and then I was asked to put in another request.
The second request, yep. Okay. So just for the history, we had given you a, was it a variance or a special permit the first time around?
A special permit. to go-
Special permit the first time around for that bump out of 3 feet.
Yeah.
Then, when staff was reviewing the as-bills, it turned out that it wasn't 3 feet, it was 6 feet. Okay, and that's when we requested you to come in and tell us how it got to be 6 feet instead of 3 feet. Okay. I think at this point, if you have no comments, I'll ask our building commissioner to kind of give us a rundown of what he's provided with us tonight.
Okay, my name is Eric Tata from the Building Commissioner for the Town of Westford. On May 6th, I did a site visit with Michael and to determine if the bump out, the additional 3 feet, was built to 780 CMR, the Massachusetts State Building Code. I could not determine with the site visit if it was without having the front stairs removed and then dig out and actually see it. Michael did provide pictures that Joe's putting up there right now. If we could go to the first one of the hole. Okay, so this really does not, I cannot determine the size of that picture there. How far that comes out. I have no dimensions or anything like that. So I cannot make a determination with this picture here with the additional 3 feet. Can we go to the stairs? This was another picture supplied to me. And then can we go to that side picture?
The first one?
Yeah, the first one. And this is what I witnessed out there, so I made a determination and I asked Michael if the stairs were blocked in. So, the only way I can determine if that, if this meets code is to dig it out. I did let you know that yesterday when I stopped by that if you had an engineered letter, I would honor that. but I cannot honor a letter from an unlicensed contractor.
His license.
Yeah, he has an, well, even if, I couldn't honor it even if he had a CSL license, but he has a hydraulic license, is what he supplied to me, not a construction supervisor's license. In addition, I did research on all the paperwork that I have, and I can't find anywhere where it was permitted to do that or inspections were completed.
Oh, okay. So during the, we got a special permit for this.
But we're in the building code at this point right now.
I'm sorry?
We're in the building code, we're not in the zoning bylaw.
So what is a, what was
In the building code, if you alter what you're doing, you need to amend your permit under chapter 1.
Yes, so,
We do not have any amendments. I have no documentation showing any plans for that front entryway, any language that says that front entryway, in my opinion, that front entryway was never permitted.
okay,
So how can we do inspections on something that was never permitted?
so the front entryway was permitted. We had,
Under what permit? You have 3 permits out there.
yes. So the first permit was the one on the left, the garage and the master bedroom on top. The second permit was the bump out the front and then the
On the right side.
on the right side. So the right side and the front had one drawing. And it was at that point that we took the special A permit. So during construction, we, because we knew the special permit, it would not be approved right away, we built the top part and waited until it was approved, and then we did the front. So the pump out, as we see here, was permitted. The problem is that it was shorter than it is right now. But we received a special
I'm gonna
permit.
interrupt you right there. I have that permit, if the board would look at permit number, application number 22-03710. Unfortunately, there's nothing in your plans showing that front entryway.
I think we have even 3 permits. We have 3.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm going by the one that you just said, the right side. And I have the plans right here. I mean, I can hand them to you if you want. There's nothing showing the front entryway.
No.
It's only just the new sunroom.
Okay, so when we came for the first special permit,
Well, hold on. Again, you're going back into zoning. I'm in the building code right now. Okay, and I'm just trying to show, just trying to, let you know that I have nothing, I have no amendments. I have, which is required when you change from what your plans are. I have no amendments showing that front bump out. But what I do have is I have your original permit, which is permit 22-0094. And then there is a rendering of just a portico.
we changed that.
Okay, all right, give me out. So now if we skip ahead to permit number 23-05061, which is the converting the attic to the livable space. Now I have a rendering of that 2.5-story front entryway. So somewhere in between these 2 permits, this work was done, and I don't have any permits for that. Or construction documents, I have nothing.
So I believe we had that. We had that, Henry was the one who approved it. He even came there once.
Well, we
So-
are in agreement, you have 3 permits out there, right? And 3 permits only, correct?
Yes.
Okay, well, the
Yes.
3 permits are right here, and there's no approval from Henry Fontaine.
So one of them shows that the frontage. The frontage and then the right side also. We had a permit, but it was also inspected.
have, again, you're saying that I don't have any record of it, because I do have all the permit cards. I mean, if you can produce a permit card for something showing that it has been inspected, but I have nothing under the job weather cards that show that there was any foundation inspection done on that. Now, I know Ernie did it, and I know Ernie is very, very thorough. He would have marked that, if there were two foundations, he would have marked right side, he would have marked up front. I worked with him, and I've watched how I've come across a lot of his paperwork.
So are you saying we didn't have permit? It was never.
What I'm saying is, it appears that you have no permit for that front entryway.
The front entryway was part of one of the permits. It might have not been part of the description.
It has to be part of the
Yeah.
description, that's what it's inadmissible in the court
Okay,
of law.
fine, so it might,
Or it would have to be part of your supporting documents.
it might have not been part of the description on the permit card, but we had a drawing and it was permitted.
Under what permit? Because I have the
One of
drawings
them.
for those
One of
permits.
them. The first one that you are showing us.
The
that-
garage?
Yeah, the very first one with the dark color, the first permit you open up. That we never, when it got approved, the initial plan was just to clean it up. And after a couple of months, we had a new drawing which we brought here. So this wasn't and then it was amended. I think I should have this.
This is what, I'm just going by what I have access to in my database.
Yeah, so let me see if I'm able to dig and find out some of this.
I would need, for the building code end of it, I would need an approved by the town of Westford stamp plan.
Yeah, let me go through, I don't know where they are, but let me look around, see if I can get those drawings over. Because I know we had one of them, the drawing was in there and it was approved, but I'm not able to tell which one it was. But it might be the first one or the one on the right. So let me get the drawings over and then.
All right, so, well, to the board, I could not make a determination if it meets code or not.
Okay, are you living in the house now?
Yeah,
You are. You have no occupancy permit.
I'm sorry,
You have no occupancy permit.
that's correct.
Okay. Well, based on everything we've heard here tonight, I don't think that we can make a determination either, because we cannot approve something that's not built to the proper building code. And I think we need to get some of this straightened out to determine exactly what happened and what's there.
Okay,
So I would find the plans, get them to Eric. The other thing I would do is make sure that thing is built to code.
it is able to code.
Okay, I'm talking about the foundation.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, but you gotta bring paperwork to prove that. Unfortunately, we can't just take your word for it.
No, I know, so, that was why I said, give me time to find those drawings and see
Hey, Joe,
what other stuff I'll
can you
get.
have picture back up and showing just the
Mr. Chair.
form work?
Yeah.
We've given him all the time. He was before us in
So-
December.
No, I didn't know these permits were missing or the drawings. I wasn't aware of any of those things. I'm now being made aware of those things.
Are you aware a foundation in this area of Massachusetts has to have 4 feet of frost protection?
Yeah,
So you're telling me that's 4 feet in the ground?
it is 4 feet.
I'd like to see the tape you're using.
Yeah.
That does not look 4 feet.
Well, it is 4 feet because it was a measure.
There is another point, you may have to dig that up so that
Okay, all right,
Mr. Tardif can verify that
okay.
it's deep enough.
So you've got some issues you got to get straightened out. One, you're living there without an occupancy permit. Two, I'm gonna be a good guy and I'm not gonna start finding you today. But you've gotta get this thing straightened out by the next meeting, or otherwise we're gonna start laying the fines on.
All right.
And we'll have to talk about, tomorrow, we'll have to talk about your occupancy.
Yeah.
Now, there could be a fine because you're living there without the occupancy permit. That's not my bailiwick, that's his. So you've had plenty of opportunity to get all this information to us and get it straightened out. You've had months, months and months.
So, yes, but I'm honestly, I wasn't aware of the missing information here. I wasn't aware of that.
And so,
So I'm going to see how I can work things with him to find those things.
If you're saying that it's on the garage permit and you have a plan that shows it,
Let me find that plan. Let me find
it
it.
does have to be stamped by the.
It's stamped. All the
By
plans,
Henry
yeah,
Fontaine.
all the plans were stamped. Yeah.
No, I mean by Henry Fontaine,
Yeah. He
Westford Building Department.
was the one in charge at the time. So, yeah.
Because the stamp plans have to remain on site throughout construction.
It was on site throughout. It was in a binder. I just don't know where this went.
They
but I'm
weren't your
sure-
brother's truck in New Jersey, were they?
No, it was always on site.
anybody else have any more questions?
I mean, I just don't understand, you've had months to get stuff, you came here with no paperwork, no nothing, you came here, sat with no comments. What was your plan tonight? I don't understand why you're back in front of us if you don't have anything else to say to us after the last meeting.
So after the last meeting, the discrepancy at the time was that it was built, it was extended more than approved for.
Right.
Okay, so I need to put in a special permit at the time. So I put in a special permit. These are new regulations that are coming to light that it might have not been built to code, the drawings were not there, and these are all new to me now. So even though I had a lot of time, at that time, my goal was to reapply for the extension. So now I'm being made aware that it might have not been permitted, there was no drawing, it was not built to code, 3 items.
I mean, I would just like to comment that, you know, due to the situation, the seriousness of occupying the building without an occupancy permit, I mean, this right here, this is the plan that he's referring to, and that's, I mean, the permit, it's 220-0094. Top right-hand corner, right above the rendering, there's Henry's stamp right there.
Henry
It's a little
stamped
bit
this,
difficult to see, but. And that's showing a portico, that's not showing a 2.5-story.
yeah. So Henry stamped this first.
Wow, he
We,
stamped
we,
this is-
yeah, he stamped all the drawings. He stamped this first, we had an amendment, and then he stamped that also. I told him we were not building this.
Here's
I had
the
a
only thing,
drawing.
Michael, I wasn't aware of the
You are not-
occupancy, no occupancy until today. And, you know, that's one of the most serious things in the building code,
Told you that.
okay? I mean, you know, this is could be you have to move out of the house till you get an occupancy situation. So we cannot be playing games with this at all.
So this plan that we have, Eric, it's 05061, it shows some kind of a rendering with a bump out on the front.
Yes, that came up somewhere.
That's not
That
stamped
was-
or anything.
That was the permit for the, of the attic.
And it's not dated.
Yeah, that's a converting the attic to livable space.
Oh,
Well, it does have a 10/19/23 date issued.
Okay.
And then that's where the rendering of the 2.5-story. So somewhere in between these two, the 3 permits, or the 2 permits, the addition for the garage and the addition on the right side, the front 2.5-story front entryway was kind of magically appeared.
So, like, I said, the first permit, we didn't do that, we came for an amendment. In that amendment.
We don't have any amendments.
Okay, so.
An amendment is basically a new permit. We would have
Yeah,
4
it-
permits.
Let me find.
Okay, if you can find it,
Let me look
but
into this.
I'm talking like, tomorrow. This isn't gonna drag on. You're living in a house with no occupancy permit.
Yeah, so let me
That puts
look.
the town in serious conditions, now that I'm
I
aware of it.
understand, I understand. I understand, let me look in my stuff.
Please, tomorrow. Yeah.
So I'll be very bold and say, if you don't contact him tomorrow, then we are gonna start the process of fines.
Yeah, I will look for this information tonight, and I'll give him a call tomorrow, and I'll email him as well.
If you can give me enough where I can issue you a temporary occupancy 30-day, I'd prefer to go down that road.
All right,
You know what I mean? But you cannot play games here.
I'm not playing games.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying you can't though.
Any other comments from the board?
Are we gonna wait on the extra 3 feet until we find out if it's built to code?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's my feeling.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I need more information.
Yeah.
I don't have enough information to.
Okay, so this is gonna be postponed until what day, Joe?
Well, no, Mr. Chair, June 18th. It's your next meeting, June 18th.
Okay, we have a motion to move this to June 18th, continue to June 18th.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll see you on June 18th.
Okay. Eric, thank you for coming tonight.
Okay?
Thank you.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
And stay on this, please.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good night.
Anything else from anybody? Joe?
Just so the board is aware, we are gearing up for the Route 40 corridor study. It would be great to have a representative from the zoning board, so start thinking among yourselves who you may be willing to have as a representative, if you are willing to have one. We think it would be great to have a representative from the board, though.
I think we may have one.
I'll take it.
Mr. Valcourt has volunteered.
All right. Thank you.
Okay?
Sure. Sounds great.
If there's nothing else, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.